Hi everyone, I'm Deanne. Welcome to my Flosstube channel, Stitching on the Rock. It's January 16th and this is episode 29. Happy floss anniversary to me. 1 year ago tomorrow, I put up my first video. I can't believe it's been a year. Welcome to anyone who's joining me for the first time. I hope that you enjoy the video and you think about subscribing. I've had some new subscribers in the last week or so, so welcome to you. It's nice to see you all. I hope you stick around for a while. And anyone who's been here for the last year, thank you. I really appreciate it. When I started out, I didn't think I'd have anybody watching. And, hopefully I've grown and changed and gotten better at this. I still feel just as nervous today as I did on the first one, but hopefully you don't think so. Or you wouldn't be watching, sorry. I don't usually look like this for anyone who's tuning in for the first time, but I've been kind of digging out and rearranging and organizing my basement. We're having some work done on the pipes and that through the condo sometime. So I'm trying to make it easier to move my stuff around when it comes time for them to come in and tear my walls apart. But it's been a wild and wacky week weather-wise here. Monday we had our first snow day with school. We got about 10 to 15 centimeters, but it was pretty windy in that, so they decided to close the schools. Saturday and Sunday, yesterday and the day before, it was like 12 degrees. Which is about 53-ish, 54-ish Fahrenheit. And all our snow is gone. And it's been pouring. And it's been dark and dreary for the last day or so. Because originally I had said I was going to do this last weekend. And I apologize because I didn't get to do it. My son was supposed to be at his dad's for last weekend. Now, for those of you who haven't been tuning in, my son is 15 and he has autism and ADHD. But he's the best child you could ever ask for as far as making noise and things like that. Give him a pair of headphones and his iPad and you don't even know he's in that room. But I didn't want him coming to interrupt me. Or sometimes I have to kick him out of a room because of the lighting. And so I said, well, he's going to be at his dad's, so I'll do it on the weekend. It was a short time between videos, but that was how it was going to work out. His dad got pneumonia. So I had Aaron all of last week. Even on the evenings that he goes there after school for supper and that, he was here. So I didn't get a chance. And then I was going to do it yesterday, but it was dark and dreary. And I thought, well, I'll give it one more day. But I'm looking at the window here and it hasn't improved. So here we are. Hopefully you'll get a good look at what I'm going to show you. We'll see. So I'm just going to refer back to last week's video because that was my whip parade and my plans video. So if you haven't seen that and want to understand where I'm coming from, you can check that one out. So first up, I said I was going to try and do a weekly or a daily 200 on my Quick Stitch Iris by Josephine Wall for Heaven and Earth Designs, which is this pattern right here. It's actually turned out to be about a daily 130. There was a couple of days when I wasn't feeling all that great myself and I was hoping I wasn't going to get sick. But when I bought this pattern originally, I had no idea what PDFs were or what Pattern Keeper was or anything like that. So I had the paper pattern. Now, it's only 4 pages, so it wasn't terrible, but I picked it up the first day and stitched 170, 180 stitches, somewhere around there. And the next day I picked it up and looked at it and thought, I got a mistake made there. Why am I doing this to myself? So I went and bought the PDF. And then I entered in all the first 2 pages because they were completely done. But I am page 3 and 4. Or under page 1 and 2, obviously. So I had worked some on page 3 and some on page 4. So I started on page 3 and I've entered everything, pretty much everything that I had done previously on page 3. But I haven't entered what's done on page 4 until I get over there to make sure it's done correctly, because that's where the mistake was after the first day. Hope that makes sense. So Pattern Keeper is telling me I have about 68% done. I'm gonna guess and say it might be a percentage or two more, like I said, based on the fact that it's not. Anyway, you don't care. But since I saw you last, which was last video, I've done 1966 stitches, which I'm impressed with. So it's all, well, I'll show you the whole thing. This is where I am on the whole thing. Obviously you can see where I'm stitching in this corner down here. So I'm almost done with that corner. I've been doing the diagonals like I do on all my stitching, but like I said, I have a little bit done over here that it hasn't been entered into Pattern Keeper yet. So here we go again. I'm thrilled. Now, I don't think it'll be done by the end of January, which is what I was ahead of my plans, because I'm away for 4 days for a scrapbooking retreat. So, but if I can have it done by March, I'll be extremely happy. Extremely happy. So next up was Whip Go. So I've got one of the numbers completed and a third of the other number completed. So the first number I called, one of the first numbers was called number 6, landed on Quick Stitch Pride and Prejudice by Aimee Stewart for Heaven and Earth Designs. And this also took care of a January gold of stitching on one of my HAEDs, besides Iris, because I'm stitching on that anyway. So I did look it up, and the big piece is called Heroes and Heroines. I took a picture of the couples that are in it, and it's on my phone. I'm recording it, and I forgot to write them down. But I'll link the original pattern so you can see all of them. And I don't think it's listed on Heaven and Earth Designs site who the couples are, but if you Google couples on Aimee Stewart's Heroes and Heroines, it will tell you. I always do this. I have Canada today. Because, well, Blue Jays, Canada. Yeah. Less than a month before spring training starts. Yay! If you're new, you'll get tired of me talking about the Blue Jays when the season starts. I am a bit of a fanatical fan. Anyway, back to Pride and Prejudice. I got 742 stitches done, and it's now at 5.75% done. And this is how I stitch my HAEDs diagonally. And I'm left-handed. Because I know a lot of people do little short diagonals, but I'm left-handed, so I go this way. I do the long one first. So this is from the top corner down diagonally. This little bit down here, I was anxious to get to the end of the diagonal once, and I realized as I was stitching here that the little bits that I had stitched down were not stitched correctly. So this little blob here will have to be frogged and done correctly. But this time I got through Elizabeth's dress. That was not fun. A lot of 3770 and 822 and all those creamy colors. And now this is another book right there. And the other little bit, let me just, I will double check. So oh yeah, the purple and the blue are a book. And then the gold is this archway. So it's right here that I stitched. So I'm almost down to the end of the diagonal, which is very, very cool. And then after that, the other number that was called, number 10, ended up being my Queen of Hearts, which I told you on the last video. Once again, referring to that. I had to frog. Oh, here she is. Most of what I had stitched, and There she is. So Queen of Hearts by Rachel Anderson for Heaven and Earth. And I'm just right up here in this little tiny corner. And I have 1 day out of my 3 done. And I have 140 stitches done, and they're all 310. And you won't notice a whole lot of difference. I didn't even take her out of the Q-snap. So there we are. But I have 2 more days of 310 to work on. And she said 0.15%. So I probably will spend today on her to try to get a second day in. She's not exactly calling to me. Eventually, there are some little holes in between all of that 310 for another color, but I think it's a really, really dark purple, so you barely know that it's even being... Next up is my New Year, New Star, which is First Signs of Spring by Cottage Garden Sampling. Yeah. I always want to say Cottage Garden Needlework. So I continued on with the background. You saw last time that I wasn't sure about the background, and I'm still not 100% sure because you can barely see any stitches at all. But I did start the robin. And oh, I haven't told you what either of these are stitched on. That's the one thing I forget. So Iris is stitched 2/2 on a 28 count unknown even weave. Pride and Prejudice is stitched 1/1 on ice blue even weave, and Queen of Hearts is stitched 1/1 on 28 count Dahlia. I never know how to pronounce it. Even weave. This is stitched on 36 count wheat linen that I dyed with denim, and I put in a little bit of pearl gray. And this is what I got, and this is where I am. Well, you can kind of see the background stitches. They're right here. And then Mr. Robin, who has most of his head and a little bit of his breast. And I think it's the most adorable thing. But like I said, I'm not sure about the background stitches. It's stitched with the Culver color, but I know my fabric is not. It's a little bit darker than the model. But also the stitching on the model looks a lot bluer. But it's... I can never remember the name of it. Let's see. It is Lexington Green, which is green, or beigey green, but I'll just show you again. In the picture, the stitches look a whole lot bluer, but that's that. So next up, one of my other goals for January was to stitch on one of my Mirabilias, because I told you in the last video they weren't calling to me to work on them at all. But I made myself, and Fairy Roses is the one that came up on my little decision wheel. So I spent an evening stitching on her, and she's looking a lot less alien than she did the last time you saw her, because she now has eyes and mouth and cheeks, and her neck is getting filled in more. She's almost down to meet her hands. There's a ruffle, I guess, from her dress right here that I have to fill in. I started it right here. Yeah. And now I enjoy stitching them, but they're just not in my wheelhouse right now. Maybe someday they will get back there. I've got 4 of them, so I really need to get them done. And I've got several more in my stash. And then one of my other goals for January was a winter piece, and I chose All Is Calm by Darlene Designs. And this was going to be my car project, but we've had a lot of days that have been cool, and I've been keeping my gloves on in the car while I wait for Aaron. So a few of my friends Pam and Patty and Elle have and I got together on Saturday and did a little online stitching, and this was a great piece because it was pretty simple to follow and easy to stitch while talking to people. Pam and Patty both have floss tubes, Pam's Craft Corner and 4 Boys and an NL Girl, so I'll link both of them down below. And Patty is part of Brennan Needle, my local thread company that I talk about a lot, and so it was a lot of fun getting together with them, and hopefully we'll be able to do some more, and maybe even in person. We'll see how things are going here. I can see the lights in my glasses. I'm sorry, but I have to have the lights on in order for you guys to be able to see anything. So this is what I got done on All Is Calm. So I got most of the house needs a bit of B5200, which I have misplaced. It's not in with my thread. It's probably in with a project. And I got the tree all completed. So it's coming along quickly. Yeah, so I'm really happy with what my January goals were that I wrote down in my calendar, and where I've gotten with them. I need to work on a Valentine's piece, and I showed last video Lizzie Kate's Crazy in Love, I think it's called, and I was going to start that Saturday night, except I discovered there was a couple of threads I was missing, so a trip to Michael's is required before that one gets started. So that's pretty much what I've been stitching on. I told you last time that one of the pieces I was going to start when a new start came up on WhipGo was the series from Darlene Beyond the Shore Signs, and I forgot to tell you that winter was a Christmas gift from my son. He gave me this, and he gave me a couple of new Q snaps because I wanted to I only had a couple, so I wanted to be able to leave them with a project, so he gave me an 11 by 11 and an 8 by 8 and the pattern and a magnifier for my 36 count. It's kind of cool. It's got 2 different magnifiers. One is a higher magnification than the other one. And then if I can do this without there, this part comes off and you can clip that to your frame, and it has a light which just came on because I must have hit the button. Yeah, and so you can do that, and like, and then, but if you're stitching a desk like I do, you can just put it back on the stand and have it sit on the stand like that. It's an Ott-Light one that he got at Michael's because that's where I told him to get it. I got that. I got that was Christmas gifts. The only purchase that came in was, I'm sorry about the crinkling, was a piece of fabric. It's a 36 count light mocha, and it's going to be for the little things. Whoop, dropped it. The little things sampler. I'm not a professional. The little things sampler that I won from Felicia and Mouse Potato Designs. So when the number comes up, I'm going to start that. It's all specialty threads, and I have a bunch in my stash. So I'm kind of going through my stash and trying to match up so that I don't have to buy as many as I need to. And so the first one, I only matched up one so far because the first thing I'm going to stitch is the outer border, and that's heirloom gold, but I had a lot of pecan, I say pecan, you say pecan, and I thought it would work pretty good. So that's going to be the first thing I stitch, and then I'll go from there and match up, and if I need to order a few, hopefully I won't have to order that many. The only other thing I got for Christmas that's kind of stitching related, and I didn't bring it up, was my sewing machine, which it's sitting on my dining room table. I told you guys before Christmas that my mom gives me money every year, and my sister buys me a couple of things. I'm like, I'd like to have a sewing machine so I could sew up my pillows and maybe try making some project bags myself. So they said, sure. So they each gave me money, and I went and got a sewing machine. It's a pretty basic one. It's a Singer M3500. And so the first thing I said that I'd like to try and make was some grime guards. So you saw on, oh, I put her down on the floor. Hang on just one second. My Queen of Hearts, I made this one. And then I made, oh, on this side, I have a Blue Jays project bag that my sister made. So she gave me an extra fabric and I made that one. And they're both for 11 by 11. And some were sitting around here. Oh, down on the floor. Just one second. This is my second time doing this video. So everything went on the floor during the first try. I made this one for an 8x8. And I have 2 more 8x8s. So I have fabric cut out for 2 more. And I have a 6x6 and I have fabric cut out for that. So I'm just going to sit down and sew them and put the elastic in them. They're not perfect. This one especially is not perfect. But you know, they're for me, so they work fine. So I told my sister that she had to come and help me with the first project bag, figure out how to put it together. I've watched video after video, and I don't know. I'm not much of a... No, well, that's not true. I can sew. It's the cutting out of the fabric and cutting it out straight that I have issues with. My eyes are crooked. Without these things, and I keep adjusting. I have new glasses on the way, so next time, hopefully, I won't be adjusting, because look, they've stretched so big. Without them, I can't see a thing. And straight lines and holding the ruler straight and all that, that's my issue. I can't explain it. I blame everything on being left-handed. I don't know if that works or not. Let me see, what else can I tell you guys about? This is short compared to the last few videos I've had. I have started back at Flosstube. I watch Flosstube when I stitch, because I stitch here and my TV is just attached to the wall, just out of frame here. But I save all kinds of videos to watch later, and then I'll save playlists and things like that, and I have hundreds and hundreds of them. So I sat down and spent some time while I was stitching, cleaning out my to watch later and a lot of my library of videos. But getting back into watching Flosstube again now, because that's, well, I've cleaned out the to watch later. The library will never be cleaned out. Excuse me, sorry. So I'm back watching Stitching Moon. So I'll link her below. And I'm really enjoying her videos. And I've started watching 23 Flavors of Stitching. And I just started way back when she started. I tend to go back at least a year or two so I can get to know the person a bit when I watch their videos. And yeah, hers have been great too. So I'll link both of them below. And I think that's everything I have to say, except another thank you to everyone. Like I said, a year ago when I started this, it was just something to do to try and get me motivated to get back into stitching after being away for a while. And I've met some lovely people, and thank you to everyone who's commented on my videos and liked my videos and subscribed. And I love all your comments and questions. Keep them coming. So I have a few thank you gifts. So you have to be a subscriber, please. You have to be 18 to give me your address. You have to not say giveaway or prize or any of those trigger words in your comments. So we're just gonna, I have 3 things, so we're just gonna do 1, 2, and 3 if you're interested in getting one of them. And but I want you to answer a question for me. Tell me something simple, what you started new in January to stitch on, or if you didn't start anything new in January, just tell me what you're stitching on. Simple and easy. So up number 1, we have Be Nice by Primrose Cottage. Really cute pattern. Pretty little pillow. So that's number 1. Number 2 will be a piece of 40 count Tropical Breeze Newcastle linen from Silk Weavers. And number 3 will be a skein of Beltane floss from Britain Needle, which is located right here in St. John's, Newfoundland. And that's, I hope that you'll enter, and anyway, I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. I'll see you, well, in 2 weeks I have my scrapbooking retreat, but I'll try that Sunday afternoon when I get home to film a video. Bye.